and welcome to Book Talk with Olivia.
And Aubrie. Today we are going to be talking about a few different books and recommending some things that we think people should read.
The first book we'll be discussing today is one of my favorite books, A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas. It's the story of a human girl named Feyre who kills a wolf, only to be dragged to a dangerous realm of fairies and magic by a beast who demands retribution. The beast turns out to be a fairy who is not actually as bad as he seems. As Feyre travels deeper into this treacherous world, she learns of a terrible power that needs to be stopped. Will Feyre be able to save the kingdom that she loves?
I loved this book so much. The whole series is really good, and it was one of the first that you recommended to me a couple years ago. Just the characters in the world were so good.
Yeah, this is probably my favorite series ever. Like I picked it up one day and it was just amazing. Like the characters, they're so detailed and they have such depth that you feel like they're like almost actual people rather than just words on a page, you know? And the world is like so cool because it's this kingdom and it's divided by courts, and each court is like based around a different thing, whether it's like a season or like a time of day. Like it's really cool.
I would definitely recommend this series to anyone who likes fantasy and just anyone at all.
Me too. It's really amazing.
All right, the next book we are going to be talking about is Red, White, and Royal Blue by Casey Mink Winston. It is the story of two rivals, the Prince of England and the President's son, who realize that they have more in common than they think. As political tensions rise, Henry and Alex become closer than they thought possible. Together, will they make history?
I thought that this book was really good, and like the best part about it I think was the characters and the conversations between the characters, because a lot of the banter is what made the novel like so good and so interesting and what made me love the characters.
Right, the rivalry between the two characters is amazing, and how they get past that and come closer together. It's just a wonderful read.
Yes, I really, the only criticism that I have of it is that it was a little bit slow in the middle, but you know, if you push through, it's got a really good beginning and a really good ending, and I think it's worth it.
hmm
Okay, so the next book we're going to be talking about is Crescent City, House of Earth and Blood by Sarah J. Maas. It's the story of a girl named Bryce whose best friends are murdered by a demon. Bryce must figure out who killed her friend and why. It's an urban fantasy that is sure to leave you on the edge of your seat.
I had a really good time reading this. It was a little bit long and it took me quite a while to finish, but I think it was so worth it. And the ending and the characters were phenomenal. I loved this book.
This book was one of the best books I had read in a while. It is long, it's long. It's about 900 pages, which I know sounds like a lot, but when you actually start to read it, it almost feels like you're just living in this world rather than reading it. And honestly, I wish it was longer. It was really good.
hmm
And
The
like,
world building is fantastic.
yeah, like one of the best things about this book were the characters, because again, like A Court of Thorns and Roses, which was also by Sarah J. Maas, the characters have such depth and emotion, and like you almost feel like you're going through what they're going through because she writes this so well.
hmm And the world that they live in is so intricate and detailed. It's amazing. And the final book we'll be reviewing today is The Book Thief by Marcus Zusak. Most of the sophomores are reading this book right now, and we thought it was a perfect opportunity to reflect on it. It tells the story of a little girl in Germany around World War II.
Okay, so this book was not my favorite. I know a lot of people liked it, but personally for me, historical fantasy isn't really my favorite genre. And yeah, it wasn't as interesting to me as some of the other stuff that I read is, just because a lot of the plot points that were like supposed to be big and really like huge for the character is like just not as like exciting as I would want them to be.
hmm I would definitely recommend this book if you like history and World War II, and especially if you like figurative language and like a different style of writing, because Zusak's writing it's really good. I didn't personally like it; it wasn't my style, but it is really good and it's a good book. So if you like that kind of thing, I would recommend it.
Yeah, definitely if you like historical fiction, I would recommend. Before we go, we wanted to leave you with a few more book recommendations.
If fantasy is one of your favorite genres, I would recommend reading Sorcery of Thorns by Margaret Rogerson. It is about a librarian who gets pulled into a scheme to sabotage the libraries of her kingdom.
If you like mysteries, I would suggest reading Broken Things by Lauren Oliver. It tells the story of two girls who are accused of murdering their best friend. Everyone thinks they did it. The only problem is that they're innocent.
If sci-fi dystopian type books are your favorite, I recommend Ready Player One by Ernest Cline. This book is about a teenage boy named Wade in the year 2044. In this futuristic world, reality is overtaken by a popular virtual reality game called The Oasis. When the creator of the game dies, he creates an elaborate contest in which the winner takes his place as CEO and inherits a large amount of money. Everyone in the world wants in on this contest, but only the most devoted players will make it far.
And last but not least, if you like a book that is set in the real world, I say you should read Fangirl by Rainbow Rowell. It's about a lovable girl who is in school to be an author. College is supposed to be a fun place to come out of your shell. For Kath, however, the world is a scary place and she's really nervous to meet new people. Once she meets her roommate's boyfriend, though, she discovers that the life she never led might be better than she ever imagined.
And that is it for today's episode of Book Talk. We hope you enjoyed our conversations and walked away with a few new recommendations.
Thank you for watching.